They say a broken trust is like a cracked glass. Once weakened, it rarely holds. This is the story of Daniel and Amara, two souls bound by love but torn apart by silence, temptation, and betrayal. Daniel and Amara had what many called a perfect marriage. Their bond was strong, their laughter filled their home, and their dreams aligned like stars. But life's storms came without warning. Daniel's business began to fail. Debt mounted, partners withdrew, and deals slipped through his hands. He drowned in shame. Instead of confiding in his wife, he withdrew. His laughter faded, his touch grew cold, and Amara, left in the shadows of his silence, began to imagine the worst. Confused and lonely, she began to feel abandoned. At the bank where Amara worked, a wealthy client named Mr. Kelvin noticed the sadness in her eyes. He began with compliments, casual, harmless, or so it seemed. "You always brighten the room, Amara. Your husband must be proud to have you." At first she dismissed them, but Daniel's growing distance made those words linger longer than they should. Soon came small gifts, a book she once admired, lunch deliveries at work, gentle concern disguised as kindness. Weeks turned to months, and the walls of her resistance crumbled. One lonely evening, she gave in. That night marked the beginning of her fall. Guilt consumed her. She wept, prayed, promised herself it was a mistake she'd never repeat. But once a line is crossed, going back is never simple. Mr. Kelvin knew her weakness. He became bolder, demanding more of her time, more of her affection. Slowly, what began as a moment of weakness grew into a dangerous pattern. Amara's once radiant smile dimmed into forced laughter. She avoided her husband's gaze. She became secretive, guarding her phone, stepping outside to answer calls, lying about late hours at work. Daniel noticed. The woman who once welcomed him with warmth now seemed distracted. The meals they once shared in laughter turned into silent dinners. Her phone, once carelessly left around, was now always in her hands, locked, protected. At night, she turned away from him, lost in thought. Suspicion crept in, and his heart grew heavy. Then came the blackmail. Mr. Kelvin, no longer satisfied with her affection, demanded a massive loan be approved under her desk. He threatened, "If you refuse, I'll tell your husband everything. I'll ruin your career." Amara broke. Her nights turned to nightmares, her days to dread. She began to drink more coffee to mask her anxiety. She startled easily. Daniel saw it all, her fear, her trembling hands, her distant eyes. One evening, Daniel pretended to sleep, but overheard her hushed voice trembling over the phone. Words like, "Please don't, my job, my husband can't know," caught him like a knife. The next day, he confronted her. At first she denied, then collapsed into sobs, confessing her affair and the blackmail. Daniel's heart shattered, but even through his pain, he saw the woman he once vowed to protect drowning in her own mistakes. Strategically, Daniel decided to end the blackmail himself. He reached out to trusted friends in law enforcement and gathered evidence of Mr. Kelvin's harassment. Using recordings, tracked transactions, and testimonies, they cornered him legally. The man who thought he had control was suddenly stripped of his power. Amara was free from his threats, but not from her guilt. Daniel looked at her one evening and said the words that shook her soul. "Amara, I forgive you, not because I forget, but because love taught me to fight for you, even when you gave me reasons not to. But forgiveness does not erase scars. Though Daniel tried to rebuild, and Amara longed to restore what they had, the laughter, the ease, the innocence, they were gone. Trust once shattered does not return the same. The jokes weren't as funny, the silence is heavier, the embraces guarded. Amara lived in a constant reminder of what she had broken. One day, she packed her things and left. Not because Daniel pushed her away, but because guilt whispered that she no longer deserved his love.
Amara and Daniel's story reminds us that silence creates distance, temptation grows in loneliness, and broken trust leaves scars that never truly fade. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to Tales by Larinzy, where every tale carries a lesson for life. Turn on the bell so you never miss a story that could inspire, heal, or guide you. Because here at Tales by Larinzy, every tale has a lesson, and every lesson has the power to change a life.